Hello, everybody, and welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I am TheOutbackAl.
I'm Yin&Jung.
I'm Chibi Noob.
I'm Envy Jitters.
I'm CheerandCosplay. And I'm Kozi.
And we're back with more things that look like they could possibly be anime, but you know that they're not anime. We watched Totally Spies this week, which was the partner thing of, not a partner thing, but like connected tangentially to the week before with Martin Mystery and all that sort of stuff. This one came out roughly around the same time, I think, like maybe a year later or maybe the same year. I forget. 2003 or something?
2003?
Yeah, 2001.
Around the same time.
2001.
Oh, yeah.
So this was actually came out first, I think.
I was gonna say, I'm like, for some reason, I remember it coming out a bit earlier.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's actually kind of insane because when you look at the animation quality between the two, this one's definitely, like, smoother.
The videos that we watched on YouTube of this definitely had like some higher quality stuff. I don't know if that was just a matter of like someone just had a better DVD rip or something, but
No idea.
Yeah. I will say smoother, because I did watch Martin Mystery, though I wasn't here for the recording for the podcast. But I will say eye animation's a bit wonky for these first 3 episodes.
Oh, yes.
It was a little off-putting.
Are you talking about the eyes facing completely different directions?
Yes, and it was
I'm gonna
actually
be
in
honest.
frames that we could notice it.
that actually does happen. Like even in shows that are done well, sometimes
But
you
it's
just,
like
No.
stylistic.
I
Sometimes
know.
you
It
miss
was
stuff.
it's just, I can tell that these ones are older because
Mm.
animation quality between those 2 years and that Martin came out 2 years later, there's a clear difference.
okay.
But that's, moving on. Let's get into the things.
I will say because like the style of it, since it is a little bit on the goofier side of things, it does hide it a little bit because you could just be like, oh, it was just like a weird moment because it's a weird show. But who's seen this before? Like, I do remember catching an episode or two here and there when I was younger. Did anyone else watch it consistently at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watched this at least like pretty consistently whenever it was on.
Yeah, Martin Mystery was on Nicktoons, right?
Yeah, Nickelodeon had Martin. This was on ABC, and I think JetX by or
This
no,
was
wait, not
on
JetX.
No.
Cartoon Network.
This was Cartoon Network.
It had to have been
played
syndicated.
in the...
It originally
in
aired
the-
on ABC Family before moving to Cartoon Network
Yes.
and later Universal Kids
So
and some other
why
stuff.
why were they both on different networks?
I mean, it was a studio who made them, but they're not exclusive to any one network, so
Okay.
Nah.
you know.
Yeah, like my memories of this show were around 2003 when I think it got brought over to Cartoon Network, and that was where it was airing that I watched it probably until about middle school.
That sounds about
Yeah,
right, like with what I'm remembering
In
too.
my recollection, this was like the first thing on after school.
Mm-hmm.
4:30ish.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember that a little bit because I know like Toonami or something. Well, it wasn't Toonami at that point. It was something else in 2003.
Yeah, it was that girl living in the underwater lab.
Yes, she had the alien
Yes.
friends, something like that.
Yeah, and Kolyoko was on that
Yes.
little section as well.
Yeah, and I know they were because I was kind of like, oh, where's Tom? Why did they get rid of him? And then he went to other places, and then died, and then came back, and then it's gone again. I think, right?
No.
I can't. It's still going. Good. Okay, that's nice. Nice to know the kids have something.
I don't know what you guys are talking about in the least.
Toonami.
Yeah, shut up, you Disney kid.
Ugh.
Did you grow up with this, Cece?
No, I hadn't even heard of it until maybe college, and then I was kind of tangentially aware of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
She looked over at me during the first episode and she's like, is it all so 70s? I'm like, oh, you haven't even seen the half of it.
Oh god, the clothes.
I'll get into that later, but yeah.
Yin, what about you?
Yeah, I never really watched this as a kid, but I knew of it. So I didn't really have many opinions. I just saw like commercials and stuff.
That's fair.
Envy?
Envy?
I never watched it personally. My little sister watched a few episodes, so I saw a few clips of it or something like that, and I've seen reviews of the show online and stuff like that. I didn't think much of it back then. I thought, oh, okay, teenage spies, whatever. But then as I got older, the more I realized, oh shit, this is Charlie's Angels, just in a TV Y7
Yeah.
format instead of, whatever the movies were rated back then.
Well, I mean, there was also the TV show in the 70s.
Well, I guess that is true.
But, I don't even think that was for kids, really. That was kind of more like...
Well,
in
no,
the
that's
same
what I'm
line as,
saying.
like, the 18
this
or
was
something.
more kids' version Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
That is definitely something it was compared to.
Despite the fact that it seems to be in modern times and, with that sort of element, it feels like Charlie's Angels mixed with, like, Austin Powers a little bit.
Because
It really
Little
does.
Well, I mean, they, especially in that first episode, they had a very, like, 60s summer of love, like... You guys have seen the Austin Powers movies, right?
Yeah.
Bits and
Yeah.
pieces.
Okay. It gave me that vibe, is all, of, like, the really goofy free love 60s kind of thing that Austin Powers was building off of.
Right.
Everything's very bright, crazy colors, and everyone's wearing go-go boots.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm not complaining.
Go boots.
I think it does work for the show for the most part because, like, I mean, I don't think a kid show would work with, like, the more modern spy, like, everything's dark and broody kind of things that you see with some James Bond stuff nowadays. But that's just me.
Or I think, like, I don't know if this is technically considered like a children's spy show, but I remember like the Max Steel cartoons, and that's the only other thing I can like really think of, like spies missions sort of thing for like children's media.
Yeah,
but
I kind of get. Yeah, I remember those shows a little bit. It was kind of like one of those. Did those last? I don't feel like those lasted very long.
I don't think the TV show lasted very long, but I have a distinct memory of it because my brother had some of the like action figures and toys.
Yeah, there were a couple other ones that were just selling toys like that back then. I mean, since always, but So should we get into plot here a little bit?
Sure.
I don't know. Where did you guys end up watching? We found a good like playlist on YouTube of like all the stuff in pretty decent quality.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I found like a playlist that had like season 1, and then I think there were a couple of other playlists that had like several other seasons that were on there. So, and I think it's getting
the official channel.
Yeah, and I think it's getting more.
They're bringing
what
it
I saw.
back? Or
yeah,
something?
I think it's getting another season soon because it says it's been going to present on at least on Wikipedia. But I could be wrong.
I mean, a lot of things are getting reboots right now.
Yeah,
that is true.
I mean, maybe. I'm trying to look on here, see anything.
Yeah, it's. I think it's getting a reboot, but it's like the Powerpuff Girls reboot. The original cast isn't coming back, so.
No, that's too bad. Anyway, so the first 3 episodes that we watched were a little bit. Well, the first episode is the first episode, but the second episode, if you guys just were watching one of the playlists, is actually the 12th episode in the production order, but they moved it up for the second released episode for some reason.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that the Queen one?
Nope. That is not the one we watched.
Okay, so the one I watched was the one with Ricky Mathis.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
That's the first one, first aired, first everything.
First one, and then I think the second one that we watched was the one where they're doing Jerry apparently retires and gets replaced. And then the third one that we watched was the one where they go to Hawaii for a vacation.
Okay, those are the production order versions.
Yes.
We did not see the vacation one because we were looking at an air date one. But of course, because of always, there's going to be like multiple different lists of like what order the things aired in because of different time zones and stuff. The order,
not just even different time zones. Like I know different countries will do different airing lists.
Yeah. The one we got, Jerry was the third one for us. And the second one for us was called Queen for a Day, which...
you could skip it.
Yeah, it's we'll talk about it more, but like we'll just say for now, it's a very this flew in the early 2000s kind of thing.
Yeah, might not fly today.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like a lot of these are kind of a little bit. You really question why teenagers would even be put in a position like this, but that's like a different can of worms to
That's
discuss.
just the suspension of disbelief.
No,
thing.
this is something
yeah, no,
entirely
I get
different.
that, but I'm just like,
Yeah, we'll get to the problem areas.
Wait, you don't?
It really suffers in a modern lens of,
Oh yeah,
oh wow, it's very apparent this was made by a man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
there is that.
But yeah, so the first one, the thing about the musicians, actually does have. I will say the plots of these all do seem to have very like the '60s really insane mad science kind of like spy plots.
I enjoyed that vibe.
Yeah,
It was
they're
fun.
They're fun. Yeah, like this one involves a pop star who I swear is based on Ricky Martin somehow.
Is it the name?
I mean, it's Ricky Mathis. I feel like he kind of looked like the guy a little bit. I might be crazy.
what with the hair?
Yeah.
I don't know that he looked anything like Ricky Martin.
I feel like I gotta bring up a picture of Ricky
But
Martin
I mean, his
now.
name is Ricky M. So I guess there's that.
Oh, Ricky, you're so fun. You're so
Is there like a young Ricky Martin
Yeah.
that we can
He was young at one point.
Tell me that's not the guy.
I mean, I guess his hair was kind of similar.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can
Yeah.
see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Live in the beat and live
yeah,
that.
no,
back
I
in,
can
back
see
in
it.
2001, yeah, that
Way
would have been
back
one of the big
when.
guys
Oh, yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
And the music producers are infusing subliminal messages and mind control stuff into his music to turn all of his fans into an army that will take over the world governments. I'm like, wow, you went from like 0 to 100 in 10 seconds. That's impressive. There's a dude with a claw arm and so much supervillain stuff all in the last like 10 minutes. It's like, wow. You know what? Honestly, fun. Honestly, really fun. Then you guys watched.
He's a great villain, but like,
He
what the fuck
looks
was
like
his
a great villain.
motivation?
He lost his music career and now he wants to take over the world. The motivations are super thin for all of these. These people
Oh, yeah,
are villains
absolutely.
to be villains. I'm just
Yes.
saying, I think he had like a very good villain look.
I don't know, the
Oh,
one
yeah.
guy lost his arm.
Character
right?
design
That's
was
him. That's
great
who I'm talking about.
for
Yeah,
him.
that's a pretty good reason. I might become.
Well, he lost an arm because he jumped into a flamethrower.
guess
Like, it's
so.
kind of his fault.
I guess he could
Little
be
bit.
blamed.
But yeah, so then New Jerry was the second one for you guys. It was the third for us.
Yes.
Where Jerry's replaced by a new guy who no one suspects, but was suspicious out the gate.
I feel like that one
Yes.
should have been like episode 10 or something. Like we barely
Yeah.
even seen Jerry.
Because part of the premise of it was the girls are really annoyed that Jerry's constantly bugging them. Like, that's not good for your second
Yeah,
episode.
I don't know
'cause
about that being episode 2
we
or
haven't.
3.
Yeah, it's better to have it like when you constantly see Jerry pushing them through pneumatic tubes and shit.
Yeah.
I think that argument makes a lot of sense if this is actually a serial show. However, it's very much an episodic show, so
I get that, but if they're being released in that order, first week is the
Oh, no.
music thing,
No,
and then the
I
second
agree.
week,
I-
I just
I
think
totally
maybe mix it up.
I do agree that it was a weird episode to put there, but I feel even from like an episode writing standpoint, like of putting it in like episode order, like where you would put that in
Mhm.
a timeline, to me, I think it's sort of established they have at least been doing this for quite some time now.
That's fair.
So
And they did a good job in episode.
Oh,
of
yeah.
Yeah.
establishing why they would be annoyed with Jerry.
yes.
Yeah,
Because
that's fair.
he's involved in every aspect of their lives when he really doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Like he is their boss. He doesn't need to be hiring their tutors and things.
Yeah.
Particularly monitoring their grades either. Like that's their parents' job.
Where are their parents? Do they have parents?
I'm sure they do, but it's one of those
I
like
mean,
how often
yeah.
do parents in
It's like
in TV
anime
shows show up?
parents.
Yeah. They're out of town on business. Honestly, with the mansions that they're living in, they have to be doing a ton of shit to make money.
I guess so.
Yeah.
They're all movie stars filming something.
You know what?
They're all filming the same movie
They're-
on location.
They're all in Beverly Hills. It all makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Earned money, now they're on the run.
Okay, so you guys watched Getaway, which was the Hawaii thing. We didn't see
Yes.
that. What was going on there?
So it's essentially the girls they're basically given a vacation from Whoop, sent to an island in Hawaii to like go and relax. While they're there, it turns out that a professor who was studying the volcano has disappeared, and Alex ends up developing a little bit of feelings for his student that is there with them. So, turns out by the end of the episode, the entire thing, they apparently run into this cult, I guess, of people who are trying to erupt the volcano,
I'm starting
which
to
will
remember
erupt
this.
all of the volcanoes like around the globe at
Yeah.
the same time.
But then
it turns out it's all just a test, and the volcanoes were not going to explode. But then, in an
they
ironic
were
twist,
full of porridge or something, right?
it was like tomato
Marinara.
sauce.
Marinara
Yeah.
sauce.
Oh.
But then the volcano is actually going to blow, and they end up rescuing Jerry and all of his people. And they originally had failed the test, but then they pass.
Yeah,
So-
you saved your boss's life from a volcano. You better pass that test.
Oh, yes, you better fucking do.
Okay. So yeah, I actually do remember seeing that one back in the day. Because I was like, oh, this is weird. Oh my god, they're gonna fail. No. Oh, it was all fake. Cool. The one we watched that was episode 2 for us was called Queen for a Day. At school, they're running for prom queen. And
Okay.
that's its own thing. Doesn't matter. Because all the country names are like off because they don't want to say the actual country names. But I'm pretty sure they go to Libya because the Queen of Libya is being, which, hold on, Libya was that Gaddafi at the time? I'm trying to remember my world history right now. Or wait, was he? I'm probably very wrong. Look, the Queen of Libya is in Agrabah,
Yeah,
I
it's
got no other
literally
way to say
Agrabah.
and she's dressed like Princess Jasmine at the end of the movie with Jafar. And
the red outfit?
she's being abducted
Okay.
by like a anti-gravity ray. So the spies are sent in to be like, hey, we're going to protect you from whoever's trying to kidnap you. And then Clover dresses up like the queen, and this is why it would not have flown today.
What? I'm sorry?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, I don't know.
It's,
It was questionable. It was
yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. That would not have
Okay.
flown today. Anyway, she gets kidnapped, and then it turns out it was the queen's sister who wanted power and to make weapons, and then they accidentally set off an earthquake generator that destroys the weapons lab. So, yeah.
As you do.
Very, very over-the-top fantastical, but also, you know, in the tradition of, God, what was it? You Only Live Twice, the James Bond movie, in which Sean Connery wears yellow face. Yeah,
geez.
so we had one of those. It didn't age great. It has a great opening number. I will give it that, but the movie didn't age super great.
Doesn't sound that way.
My favorite of his is actually from Russia with Love. Weirdly enough, it's the one between Dr. No and Goldfinger. It's the one everyone forgets, but I actually think it's a really good spy story.
Oh.
In any
Okay.
case. So, Clover did brown face. I mean, she didn't do brown
She
face.
didn't. She didn't
brown
do
face, but-
brown face. She was just wearing a culturally, like not
She
her
was-
type of outfit.
She was impersonating a North African queen.
But I mean, even so, the outfits were very like culturally stereotyped. I don't know. It was
Yeah,
just it was all what you would expect from the early 2000s.
Yeah, this was like
Yeah.
back when people were not thinking about this that hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's what you'd expect.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I probably would have preferred the vacation episode, but we got what we got.
Honestly, it was a little more interesting because, like, hey, there's a twist you didn't see coming.
Yeah. This was
Um,
just
Because, like, as soon as you see the sister, you're just like, it's her.
Oh.
It's one of those, like, immediate, like,
yeah,
It's you.
It's her. It was just like the Tim Scam or whatever.
oh, yeah.
Mr. Tim Scam.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
the,
Are you talking
other
about
Jerry.
Mr. Max Smith?
Yeah, Max
Yeah,
Smith.
yeah.
Like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, is his name Tim
Oh my
Scam? Is it-
god.
Wait, is his name Scam? This is a joke, right? And then, voila.
Yeah.
But,
My gosh.
yeah. So those were the episodes we watched. I feel like it's a good tasting of what the show is, for the
Oh, yeah.
most part. You got a lot of weirdo, fun, bizarro action stuff with gadgets and
Mm-hmm.
silliness.
Yep.
But also a nice helping of some stuff that maybe didn't age so well.
Oh, yeah.
Where were you guys at with all of it?
I feel like most of this didn't age well.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, it's kind of going back to, wow, through the lens of like modern times where we don't just make caricatures of women and people of color. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Can you tell this was made by a white man?
Yes. Very much so. I feel like it's a good thing that honestly, I can't remember a whole lot of the show at this point. So I'm not even really, when watching it, I wasn't really looking at it through any sort of nostalgic lens either. I was more looking at it a bit more critically because I'm like, okay, yeah, this was something that I watched as a child. What did I watch as a child? And I'm like, child me probably would not have thought very deeply about this.
Oh, no,
Child
you're
me would
definitely
have
not.
probably just been watching this for the vibes. And yeah, it doesn't really hold up very well. The goofiness is okay, but I will say it's probably not something that like if another show like this had come along now, I would not necessarily probably latch onto it like I would have as a child.
For the time period it came out in, there were many better shows that were female focused that sent a much better message about what being a girl is.
Yeah,
I don't
a lot
know
of
that this show is at all about what being a girl is. It feels much more about being a spy.
it feels a
Well,
little shallow. if
It
I'm
was
being
supposed
very
to be a
honest.
spy show to appeal to young girls.
Yeah.
I feel like
Kind of like Impossible.
I think that's the better version of the show.
Oh, yeah.
But like this is still
Absolutely.
fun to me. And granted, I'm a white man. So I'm a little
You can stop there.
Yeah, I'll stop there.
Don't dig the hole, Al. Don't do it.
It's already dug. It's already dug.
But like,
Doug, that's a show I watched.
Doug was good.
Oh,
Doug was
yeah.
pretty good.
Hey Arnold. Arnold was a good show.
Yeah.
also, I feel like if you're looking through it, maybe not through suspension of disbelief, but just how much Jerry can like observe and pull them from their life, which means Whoop in general just has that power of observance over probably everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm like,
They're kind of
that's
1984, yeah.
I
And then,
brought
Like
this up.
especially
with-
teenage girls.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I brought this up last time with Martin Mystery, where like the center probably could control the planet if they wanted,
Oh, they probably do.
and like Whoop's more or less the same thing.
They're the Illuminati.
yeah. They're the
I
they're the
feel-
what was it in American Gods? The Black Hats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I feel the center is at least a bit nicer about it because it's like, hey, here's the door that you can take to go through to get here. Whereas Whoop is just like, okay, we're gonna vacuum suck you down a tube.
Yeah, there's no choice in the
Okay.
matter.
I'm gonna be real. I have to assume that Jerry's just kind of a dick.
a
He
little
he
bit.
does it for the chuckles.
absolutely. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. He laughs at them every time.
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, and I know this about myself. I know I should never be in a position of like extreme power or anything where I would have the ability to throw someone down some sort of shaft or suck them through a pneumatic tube, because I would do it. I would do it for the lols. And I know that's bad, but not to hurt anybody, but if I had an office that possibly had a trap door that fell into like a foam pit or something that they could then get out of, but still the fun of like dropping someone through a trap door, I would probably do it.
Okay, so if we ever need to jump off of somewhere high and we're too afraid, we just need to make sure we have Al behind us.
I'm not saying I'm gonna push you. This is a scenario where no one's gonna get hurt, but
Well, I said
it's
if
like
we need to jump.
no, I'm not gonna.
I
Like, if it's a necessity that we jump.
Okay, maybe we'll see.
Funny.
I mean, it would be funny. I mean, how many prank shows have included like dropping people out of nowhere? and you could just do that whenever you want, I'd do it. Like, logistically, and I really shouldn't be talking about this, but I was having a little bit of a moment of thinking, like, the real world implications of anything that's happening in this show.
God.
Like,
Yeah.
the entire structure of the school is entirely made of pneumatic tubes, right?
Yes. Also,
God.
their homes. Also, the mall. Also,
Everywhere.
too many places.
I was kind of having, with the new Jerry episode, his weapon that evaporated water, and he's doing it from space, and I'm like, okay, like, you guys remember Batman Begins?
Yes.
Yep.
With the microwave emitter that, like, vaporizes all the water in like,
Yeah.
within a vicinity, and the question always comes up, people are made of water, what happens to them? Realistically, that thing should fry everybody around them. And I'm looking
Fry
at
them,
this
skeletonize
guy-
them.
Yeah, this guy's got, like, basically a death ray at space. He's like, nope, it's just evaporating the liquid water, like, in your water bottle. Also,
I took
why?
the whole ocean.
I see some of the other people, like, that we watched, like the musician who's, like, trying to, or not the musician, the music producer trying to take over the world, the queen's sister trying to, like, become an arms dealer for money, or it was all a test kind of thing. Some of these things make sense. This guy's plan makes the least amount of sense. Are you just nuts? I think he's just nuts. Like, how does this help? How does this help you? What do you get out of evaporating all the water in the world? Also, where would the water
I want
go?
to know. Yeah, because they said it evaporated, but they put it back.
Yeah, so it's just in the atmosphere. No, but if the fact that they put it back means it was sucked into the gun. Because he
But
uses it
how?
on them, they get dried out, and then Jerry reverses it so that they get rehydrated. So the moisture was in the gun.
Oh my god, the original dehydrated Ganondorf.
Yeah.
Again, I think this is something that's not meant to be thought about too deeply.
Clearly.
Also, it's for children,
I
so you're
know.
not gonna question it.
I'm just, it bugs me because I have adult brain that's like, well, how would this work? Like,
Oh no, trust me, I get it.
I mean,
But I'm
this
just
is
like,
this,
okay.
this is a completely different show, but it's just like in Jimmy Neutron, where all the time they would go into space, and the one time Jimmy was going to explain it, Carl had to sing, and we didn't get the explanation. So it's like, you know what? At a certain point, it's cartoon logic. Just roll with it.
I'm going to give
Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron this. There is an explanation, and they acknowledge it shouldn't work, but they have a reason that it does. We just don't know what it is. I don't know, but I have to use real world logic because they're not explaining that there's not an explanation.
I want to know how they got Jerry onto their space pod to then reload back into the spaceship.
Yeah, that's another one. Don't think about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, he should be very dead.
They connected. Yeah.
Just don't think about it.
Just don't think about it.
Like, at least them being able to get to, like, other countries and everything fast, like, that's kind of explained in the vacation episode as,
Oh yeah.
hey, we're loading these girls into a rocket and shooting them out of it.
I think
Yep.
they also did that in the Queen for a Day episode. They get sucked into a trash can, which then turns out to be like a Sputnik space
Something like that.
shuttle, launches them up into the orbit and then down into the Atlantic.
Yeah. And then also, like, there are just ones where they get just sucked through other pneumatic tubes. I think Whoop just has, like, a whole entire network of, like, tubes just all over the globe. That it's just kind of like
There-
one of those, like, express bank tube systems.
There is no magma at the center of the Earth.
It's
Nope.
just
It's
more
all
tubes.
just pneumatic tubes.
And that is enough iron to keep the world's magnetic field still going.
Oh my
'Cause
god,
it all
that
spins.
the tubes throughout the planet make sense, but the heat ray from space doesn't? What the hell is this show doing? I don't know. This is kind of fun to speculate a little bit and just be like, oh, this is so bizarre. Like, I feel like as a kid, you could just enjoy this and, like, turn your brain off, kind of, like, have fun, bright colors,
Yeah.
weird action and stuff. But, like, I'm saying even as an adult, yeah, a lot of this isn't aging well, but at the same time, I'm having fun riffing and enjoying myself with this. So,
It is
yeah.
absolutely so much fun to make fun of it. Every time, and it usually happened to Alex, but every time there was an instance where her eyes were just in completely separate directions, we had to pause and laugh at it.
Oh yeah. Like there was one moment where I noticed Sam was having like chameleon
That was in the Jerry episode.
Yeah. And it was
Yeah.
like going like one eye was going straight, the other one was going like off to the left, and I'm just like, hello.
You know who else is a spy with a lot of pneumatic tubes and walleyes? Perry the Platypus.
Perry the
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
It all connects back to Perry the Platypus.
Yeah.
So eventually they had to stop using teenage girls. I'm gonna imagine, because Whoop got caught for it, they had to rebrand and now they're using animal labor.
Yep,
But
went
they-
from
but
child
they-
labor
Sense.
to animal labor.
There are less
But they also
regulations.
had to change their. They also had to change their name too because it was.
Yeah.
I forget.
A
I forget
rebrand.
It's OUCA. It's Organization Without a Cool Acronym.
They were always very self-aware, I'll give them that.
Oh yeah, no.
I will
that
say
show
they,
was amazing.
They
I
don't
fucking love Phineas and Ferb.
they don't stay teenagers forever because we did end up watching the Martin Mystery crossover. I don't know if anyone else did. But
I do remember it.
we
do
Yeah, I
remember
do
it.
remember it.
it is on YouTube, a little lower quality, but like it was there. By season, I think that came out in their season 5 or something. They're in college at that point. So there is time progression in this.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've
That's
had like
something.
6 seasons of this show. They
Yeah.
would have had to have gone on to college at some point.
Yeah.
They
So
also had a few movies, didn't they?
Yeah,
they
they
had
had it.
a prequel
They
movie
had a
and
prequel.
Oh.
They had like a standalone movie, and then I know they had a prequel movie.
So was it like a backstory?
yeah, it was how they all got together.
Yes.
Hey, Envy, there you go. Because this also starts in a way that just like Martin Mystery, no explanation, just jump into it.
I don't feel like I required as much of an explanation here for some reason.
Is it because you're just
there
used to
weren't,
like spy
aliens
stuff?
and shit.
Yeah.
It's just I can buy the spy stuff a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like spy stuff is kind of like something you don't really need a whole lot of background to build off of. It's just like villain of the week. Whereas
Yeah, also, spy stuff, you're meant to find out stuff as you go along.
Yeah, they're spies. It's supposed to be a secret a little bit.
Yeah, Martin Mystery, I think it's like, because it also delves in lore of a lot of other things and like some sci-fi shenanigans. I feel like a lot of that stuff kind of needs to be brought up a little bit more. I feel like this
But-
was like very much, at least Martin Mystery, a kid's version of like early episodes of Supernatural.
Well,
little
hold
bit.
on though. But like, if you, I agree with that. Honestly, their formula is kind of the same. But even in Supernatural and Martin Mystery, it's still a mystery show.
It
It's still
is.
like you're
Yeah,
trying to piece together
but-
what's going on, kind of thing.
But in Totally Spies, while they're all kind of like out of this world zany plots, like it could be something within the realm of possibility. Whereas Martin Mystery, it's a lot of like paranormal, supernatural stuff.
I think it's just like tropes from the respective genres for me. It's just like in a spy
That's fair.
thing, I don't expect to get a backstory. They're just spies, you know, and that's how all spy things are. But in like a mystery solver kind of like esque show or like a supernatural esque show, usually we do get a backstory of like how he ended up in this sort of situation. So I feel like it's just set, my expectations are set by the genre. You know?
mean in the beginning?
That's fair.
Get a backstory?
Yeah, in the beginning, just like in Supernatural, we have a backstory right off the bat. You
What
know?
about Scooby Doo?
Dad went on a hunting trip, and he hasn't been home in a few days.
Exactly. Scooby-Doo.
So then mom sends them out on all these missions.
Mom's dead. That's the point.
So Scooby-Doo's different for me because there's not real monsters, at least in the original Scooby-Doo. I don't
Alright.
know. I don't really feel like with that one I need to know, like, how they got involved in mystery solving. But these are,
I
like,
feel
real
like-
things, you know?
All right.
Yeah, also, we kind of have, like, Charlie's... I don't know about you guys, but I had already known about Charlie's Angels when I was watching this.
Yeah.
Did I realize that was, like, a kid's version? Like, what I was watching was a kid's version of it? No, not really. But, like, we had the idea of Charlie's Angels in our head. So, like, transposing that onto Totally Spies wouldn't have been that hard.
Or like James Bond or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody knew of these spy shows that were just like, okay, this is just how spies operate, you know? But this Martin Mystery thing, it's like a totally new operation. I don't know how this works. It's like...
I mean, even me, I kind of even sort of compared them a little bit to, like, Batman, because Batman is, like, one of the superheroes that does a lot of things with just gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of, like, the same, like, sort of reconnaissance, sort of, like, going in on a mission kind of deal versus,
Detective
like, other
work.
superhero shows.
Yeah.
And detective work, yeah. So I was more used to that out of, at least, Batman and shows like
we were
it.
primed for the show by
yeah.
Inspector Gadget.
I was about to
That
say
too.
it's
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget for me.
Gadget, that was a classic.
Like, you eventually get backstory for him, but, like, you don't know what the fuck happened to him for the longest time.
Did you guys never, like, watch Men in Black when you were a kid or anything?
I remember it.
I remember watching it, but I was probably a little young to be watching it when I watched it.
I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, I'm the only person who's seen this, because I'm the only person who seems to be able to jump into Martin Mystery, no story whatsoever.
No, I'm sorry. I think in Men in Black they had a
fuck yourself.
backstory.
They explained in Men in Black.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the TV show.
Nothing but explain. There's a TV show?
Yeah, there was a Men in
Yeah.
Black animated series from the
Okay,
90s.
you're the only one who's ever
But
seen
you would
that.
have seen the movie first.
Yeah.
No, I was too young to watch that.
Well, that
Well,
sucks
most
for you.
people
Very
would've.
tragic.
I
Eventually saw it,
actually
but-
remember going to see the Men in Black movie when it was at the drive-in.
Yeah, I think me
As a
too.
child.
The first one from 97 or the second one from like 2002?
Probably the second one.
Second one.
Okay, that one was a lot
Probably.
goofier.
I saw the first one.
Oh, man.
And I think I might have
Like-
even seen the first one as kind of like they had the first one on and it was like a double feature at the drive-in.
Honestly, two's a little... I'd like to go see Men in Black again.
Yeah, put it on the
It's
list.
fun.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
on
we
there.
can
you
do
know
that. But, like, in Men in Black, the universe is already established. Irregardless of whether you or not personally had seen it before you watched the cartoon.
Regardless.
I don't know. I feel like you guys are like complaining about this, and I just don't get why.
That's your ADHD brain.
Sorry.
I feel like my ADHD brain should be making it harder to understand.
You have a shorter attention span.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I've kind of tuned out.
Point in case.
No, I'm
Sorry.
in.
This is me making up for missing last week's episode.
You know what?
Sorry.
Fair enough. Do you have any... Because same production company, and I do want to talk about the crossover at some point. Do you have anything to say about Martin Mystery at the moment?
Again, like the message I sent you, it was okay. Martin is annoying. I was not very thrilled with episode 3. So I'm just like, all right, I'm done. Moving on. But I mean, I have like genuine nostalgia for this show because I watched it when I was a little bit older. And despite everything, I'm kind of just like, why is Diana the only person in the room that makes sense? Because she kind of
Actually,
was.
Chibi, do you remember what 3 episodes you saw? Because we had a little bit of the same issue last week.
Yeah.
So first
this
one
week I saw it was
was
the official channel, so I didn't even think to confirm
first
it.
one that I saw was where the kids kept disappearing because of the bog monster.
Okay.
Yep.
Second one was the insect aliens
Yes.
down in the desert. The third one that I watched was the ones where they went to a mysterious island where a bunch of oil rig people all went missing.
Okay.
And
Okay.
essentially it was, I did not like that episode.
Yep,
Racism.
another one of those. Yeah, probably wouldn't have flown as well today.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we had a thing, because, Envy, you saw one about a siren
Yes.
that it was, like, some people said that was episode 5, some people said that was episode 9. There was just, like, a lot of different lists of, like, I guess, when it aired. So, yeah, we wanted to see where you were at with that.
Yeah, to be fair, the Siren episode sounded much more interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, a little bit. If we could have, I would have suggested being like, hey, let's go to, like, season 2 when all the monster movie characters come to life and Martin as actually, like, knows what he's doing for once. Like, that was the really interesting one. But, yeah. Speaking of, we should talk, you and me can talk at least, about the crossover episode that they had with the Yeti people.
The Yeti people. Everybody was turned to Yetis.
Yeah, okay, so, I mean, I'm gonna be real, not the best team up I've seen. It felt, like, really, like, paper thin.
Let's be real, most crossover episodes are not that good.
Wait, if Whoop has the center of the Earth with all their pneumatic tubes, where the fuck is the center?
They're somewhere.
They
in
are
extra dimensional space. That actually feels plausible with the portals and shit. And they do bring up, because Martin goes through a portal here and there in front of them, and they're like, we gotta talk to Jerry about this, because he seems way better than what we do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're both investigating sightings of a Yeti at a mountain resort, and turns out they found, like, an ancient cave person Yeti creature, and some park ranger extracted the Yeti's DNA, sequenced it, turned himself into a were-Yeti, turned a bunch of other people into were-Yetis, and then tried to push the resort over with a bulldozer off of a cliff, because nature. And
okay.
yeah, so they had to stop that from happening. And they did, of course.
He was just very inspired by Poison Ivy.
Yeah. He was Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze in one. But yeah, the team up is weak, in my opinion. I don't know. Martin's being Here's the main problem. And maybe I was a little spoiled because I watched those, like, CW superhero shows a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Arrowverse had some pretty good crossovers, because they would, like, start whatever their plot was in one show and then ended in the next show. So you almost had, like, an almost like an hour and a half movie for your little crossover event.
Oh, like the
whether
Jimmy
you
Tree
like
Power Hours?
Yes!
something like that.
Yes.
2 episodes, something good like that. I just feel like if this is going to be a thing, you might as well make it a big thing. You could have had it start with the Totally Spies episode and in the Martin Mystery episode. I understand that might be difficult for kids to figure out, but it kind of felt like it cut down both of their stories. And also, it's just Martin. There's no Java. There's no Diana. Mom's only there for a cameo. And it's a little like, there's some missed opportunities for character interactions that could have been really fun. Also, apparently Jerry and Mom hooked up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. At first, like, they're like, hey, have you heard of a guy named Martin Mystery from the Center? He's like, the Center? Wait, does he know Mom? What's going on? And you're like, oh God, he is, like, deeply in love with this woman. I get it. She's hot as hell. But at the same time, it's like, I thought it was going to be one of those, like, he's super into her, and she's like, oh God, this guy again.
Yeah.
No, apparently they hooked up at some secret organization conference in either Venice or Oslo. They can't remember which. Probably both. Who knows? Pneumatic tubes. But I'm like,
they had a
damn.
thing.
Good for you,
Listen.
Jerry.
Jerry has Riz, and you can't convince me otherwise.
He did in these first couple episodes, but that episode was from season 5 when they switched his voice actor, and I don't like the new voice actor.
Oh.
Yeah.
He is a little weird.
Yeah,
bit.
he was too British.
I kind of liked Martin and Alex's interactions. They were kind of cute.
Yeah, at first he's like really into Clover because and then but like him and Alex just bond over like video games and movies and all sorts of stuff, and yeah, and then he has to leave, and we'll never see each other again.
Yeah.
See, I feel like it's a little weird because Alex and Diana are kind of coded the same.
No, Sam and Diana.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Sam and Diana. That's what I meant.
Alex is in the
girl.
yellow.
Yeah, no, I feel like Diana and Sam, had you put them in the same episode together, like, I feel like they'd have just been talking shit.
would
about
have
Martin
been
the entire time.
that would have been fun. You got Martin, annoying Clover. I guarantee you, Java's amazing. Everyone would hit it off with Java. Hands down, fun stuff. Like, missed opportunity. That's all I'm saying. Speaking of, like, the voice actors in that, so, I mean, Sam's Jennifer Hale, who is, like...
Yes.
I mean, did you need a character in the 90s or 2000s that you wanted your audience to suddenly be like, am I into cartoon characters? Yeah, just get Jennifer Hale. She's got Sam, she's got Thorn from the Hex Girls, she was Black Cat back in the 90s Spider-Man, she was also Mary Jane at a later Spider-Man thing. She's been in, like, how many other things, and, like, I don't know.
Looking for Wikipedia, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very long.
Oh, yeah.
It's extensive.
If you're into video games, she's Femme Shep from the Mass Effect series.
Like, I
I
feel
say
like
again.
as we got older, like, she evolved with us, you know?
Oh, yeah. Very versatile.
Yeah.
Clover was Andrea Baker, who, all your points, she was
only
in...
really did... Yeah, she didn't do much else. Like,
Um,
it's really... Her most known role is Clover, I think.
It's definitely her most known role, but I'll give her points for being in Pleasantville. That's a pretty good movie. She was also in Dinosaur from 2000. You guys remember the Moses, but with the CGI dinosaurs?
Yes.
Jennifer's body.
I do remember that movie quite well with the
That
lemurs.
movie traumatized me as a kid.
Well,
No,
yeah.
no, listen. It wasn't so much the meteor scene; it was the fucking contours. Those dinosaurs scared the shit out of me.
Dude,
as a
those
kid.
things
I
are
had
so
nightmares.
cool.
I had looking back on it, they're cool, but as a kid, I actually had nightmares over that.
Mm.
I'm
As
not
someone
gonna
who
lie.
grew up on Jurassic Park, I was just like, oh yay, they actually talk now.
Yeah. But she also had some live action roles, some stuff here and there. Jennifer's Body, Cars 3, General Hospital.
Who was she in Jennifer's Body?
It just has additional voices, so I'm guessing like some
Okay.
background type stuff. She was in an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, things like that. Then you have Alex, who in the version we watched was Katie Leigh. Bunch of stuff that she's been in.
She was
Honestly,
Julie from
pretty-
Bakugan.
Yeah, pretty extensive filmography actually on the Wikipedia. I'm trying to look for anything like really like hone in on. A lot of half of people's like stuff is like additional voices, so it's almost like, but I really want to
She
nail
was in
on
a
what
lot of
you were.
Beyblades.
But like As Told by Ginger, Bonkers, Darkwing Duck.
Okay.
Let's see here. Oh, Lego Star Wars, fun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Muppet Babies, Rugrats,
I remember
Sailor
that.
Moon.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, she
She
was
was Mars.
Sailor Iron Mouse
Oh.
from Sailor Moon Sailor Stars.
Okay.
Yeah, and some
She was
video
also
game
Mars.
stuff. I'm not seeing that on here.
Is that the
It would have
other
probably
Alex?
been further up. Maybe? I don't know.
It's in alphabetical order. It should be right next to Sailor Moon.
Oh, okay.
The other one who was in the later one was Katie Griffin. That's Sailor Mars. Second Alex is Sailor
Aha.
Mars.
Okay.
First Alex is Sailor Iron Mouse from something else.
It's not a planet.
So
That's,
both-
that's much later on in the show
So
or in the
hang on.
storyline.
So Alex was voiced by two people named Katie who were both Sailor Scouts.
Yep.
That's a weird coincidence. But points to Jerry for being Jess Harnell, Wacko Warner. And also every single dude except for Ricky Mathis in the first episode.
Wait, really?
I forget who Metal Claw guy was, but he was Jerry, he was the guy that Clover was into, and he was the music producer. And he should have been Ricky Mathis because Jess Harnell actually is in a band and can sing.
That
Wow,
is
okay.
very versatile. Damn.
Oh yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff. I mean, he's another one of those people who's like been in all your childhood stuff. He's Crash Bandicoot, for God's sake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Crash doesn't say anything.
He makes
Yes, he
noises.
does.
Even, like-
Whenever when he screams and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
You know, we all just kind of made the same noise Crash Bandicoot makes.
Yeah. Pompoko. Wait, what was that? Was that a Ghibli? Yeah, he was in that.
Oh.
Aladdin, Hunchback, Bug's Life. Let's see here. Wacko's Wish, Little Nicky, Emperor's New Groove, Scooby-Doo,
he's just-
Lilo and
He's
Stitch.
just had a lot of work.
all over the place. Yeah, tons of good stuff.
Okay.
I'll give a shout out to oh god, what was his name? Kevin Michael Richards was in the Queen episode.
Oh.
Who is another one of those voice actors that like he's just been in everything.
Yeah.
Trigon from Teen Titans.
Okay.
Oh, Gantu from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh,
Gantu.
okay.
Yeah.
If you ever need a big guy intimidating voice, you get him.
Yeah.
Got it.
Bunch of stuff. Family Guy, Cleveland Show, American Dad. A lot of those things. Even some live action stuff. He was in an episode of How I Met Your Mother. I do remember that.
Okay.
I think he simultaneously seduced Barney and Marshall.
You make me thank God for every mistake I ever made because each one led me down the path that brought me to you.
It's like really nice, man. Whatever, it's okay.
And when we finally come together, I want you to hold me.
Hold me all night. Stroke my hair. Tell me I'm a woman and show me you a man. Until there was only now. You and I, and now.
Yes! You want me to text that to Ted. I know that.
Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think of like what else to talk about here. Do we just go around? I'm a light yay here. I think it's still fun. There's some issues here and there, but still a good time as long as you're not gonna go too deep into like why the heat ray works.
I guess I'd give it like a meh to like light yay. I thought it was pretty fun to watch, but yeah, it was kind of outdated and I don't know. I guess I just don't have any nostalgia for it because I didn't really watch it as a kid, but I feel like if you did, then I could see, enjoying it a little bit more if I had seen it when I was younger. But nowadays, I don't know. I think it was kind of fun, but I don't know if I'd really continue much of it. So I don't know, maybe like a meh, maybe a light yay.
Yeah, I can't really comment because I didn't really watch it this week, so...
You didn't have
move
to
on.
admit that.
I honestly feel like despite how, like, attached to the show I was as a child, because I did, like, watch it very frequently, I would probably give this, like, a meh. And granted, like, that's because I'm probably much older now, and, like, I don't know, maybe I'm not quite as susceptible to the bright colors and the zany plot lines. But I think it's okay. It's just something that I feel it could be better as, like, a TV show for, like, young girls. But, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Like a light yay to a yay. Like, it does have its issues, but it was also pretty fun. Like, there would have been a time that I hated this. Right now, I'm kind of in my Zembo era. So, like, it's a good time.
I think I'm also gonna give it a meh. I think if you're looking to watch something that's kind of fun that you can make fun of along the way, this would be a good watch for you. I just, like, it really doesn't age well. Like Chibi said, like, there are better shows. Like, if I had a female child, I would probably not be comfortable with them watching Totally Spies, just because of, like, the wrong message it could send. But I will say, like, I have a lot of hope just based off of how well Totally Spies did for the reboot, because I think they could polish it up into something really good.
I just had a thought. Would it be possible to make a drinking game out of this show?
But you can make a drinking game out of any show.
Anything.
Every time
Yeah.
their eyes point in different directions. Chug.
Every time Clover cries over a boy.
Every time there's a pneumatic tube! Kozi, it's actually kind of good that you mentioned reboot stuff, because next week we're actually moving on to something that's kind of a redo of another thing that I feel like everyone here has seen that is very anime-inspired. So Netflix... actually, the day that we're recording this, Netflix came out with their new Scott Pilgrim Takes Off series. So we're going to take a look at that next week, give you guys a week to watch it and check it out, see what you guys think, and then come back and see what we think, and see how we all feel. Because, like, have we all seen the movie before?
Yes.
Yes.
Did I hear a no in there? What the fuck?
That was me.
Oh.
Did you do, like, the comics or the game or anything?
No.
I got
Does
the
this-
DVD.
Does this seem like something I would like?
I
No.
feel like everyone should like it, but that's just me.
I don't really know if Cheeps would like it.
Yeah, conceptually.
Conceptually, just from what I know of it, it doesn't sound like something that's
Probably
my
not.
kind.
Guys,
Probably not.
I feel
It's
like
stupid for
all of
stupid's
this.
sake.
I disagree with that, but I feel like we can have a much larger discussion about it next week whenever we watch Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. So, till then, come back next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!